Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Courtside. I'm Blair Cartwright, pleased to be joined as always by Tom Cullen, our head women's basketball coach. And Coach, SEC play has begun and unfortunately a tough week for the Razorbacks.
It was a tough start for us. You know, it was a tough schedule to begin with, I think. Having to open up on the road. I think this was the 5th time in 6 years that we've opened on the road since I've been there. I'm waiting for that easy home opener. Not that there's any easy game in the SEC. But Auburn was a tough game. Obviously, both teams were excited. And, you know, you're coming out of the blocks, and it doesn't matter that we were ranked and they weren't. It's their first SEC game, and they were excited, and they played in front of a good crowd. And we got into a good tussle with them. Had a chance to win, but couldn't make enough baskets. So then come back, Texas A&M, slow start, obviously, big crowd, great crowd. And but just got off to a slow start. Couldn't put the ball in the basket. Played hard all the way through the game, kept the crowd in the game, I thought. But that's life in the SEC. You know, there's not any easy games, and if you shoot the ball poorly 2 games in a row, you're probably going to go down in both of them.
Now, I can bet I know what you're working on in practice this week. Let's take a look at our 3 keys from the last 2 ball games, and once again, Sarah Watkins continues to shine coming off the bench.
Well, she just seems to be relaxed coming off, keeps her out of foul trouble. It took her a while to get her jump started in the Texas A&M game. She did most of her damage in the second half. We probably need a little bit more of that in the first half, but. You know, she's a focal point for us. I mean, our offense really runs through her in the high post, and she can make shots. I mean, she's determined, and you know, she's got her head on straight. She's a pretty tough guard in this league.
Second key, determination. This team down 10 in both ball games, but yet rallied in the second half to have it a 1-possession game. Didn't pull it out, but still, when they could have folded up the tents, they didn't. They kept fighting.
Well, I guess that's why they call us the Fighting Razorbacks, or when we first got our logo. So I've got good kids. I've said this all along to our fans. They're worth coming out and watching, win or lose, but we certainly want our fans to go home with some W's as well. And I think our kids need to get some W's in order for them to be able to continue to fight like that. But I do think these kids are of the mindset that they want it real bad. They want to prove that they're a good basketball team, that they're an NCAA-worthy team. And so they don't have a lot of quit in them, and I appreciate that about them. And as long as they keep that attitude, they keep that mindset, they keep working hard, then they're going to start getting some W's as well, just like last year's team.
And our third key, you mentioned earlier, the fan support. Melissa Wolf's family was down at Auburn, the Wolf Pack, and then Sunday for the A&M game. Great home crowd. Folks were excited. I mean, you could just see the players' excitement in their eyes with the big crowd.
Well, we need to keep that there. You know, the Auburn crowd was a nice crowd. It was cheering against us. The Wolf Pack was there representing, which we really appreciated. You know, Melissa's got a great family and a lot of love in that family and support, and it's good to know they're going to be here for 4 years. That Wolfpack may keep growing on us, but that was good to see. And then I think our crowd against Texas A&M was fantastic. It reminded me really of some of the big crowds that we've had back during the Gary Blair days, and they kept us in the game. I mean, they had every reason to get up and walk out at halftime, you know, the way we were playing, but they came back, they cheered, we made a little bit of run, got in the game. And they were a big part of that. You know, our kids appreciate that. They hear them standing up and screaming, and it makes a big difference. And we need them to keep coming back. You know, my guess is they came here because they're great Arkansas fans. It's top 25 games. Texas A&M was Gary Blair. A lot of reasons to come out, but I need our fans to come out and support us because of how hard these kids play that you just mentioned. And we're going to need their support because we play so many good teams at home, and we're going to have so many close games. And we need that home court advantage to squeak out some of those games. And then that's what will give our kids confidence and make them want to go on and play harder and win some more games.
And I thought it was a nice move on your part. After the game, you took the microphone and thanked the fans for coming out. And that was very well received. People weren't expecting you to do that.
Well, especially after a loss. You know, it's always you're excited after a win and you want to thank everybody and everybody's feeling good. But I just made up my mind that I just didn't want to let that opportunity to go by. I thought those fans were great. And I wanted them to know how much we appreciate them, win or lose. And we need them to come back. We need them to keep giving this team a chance and do everything they can to try to help us win games. Fans can help win games. There's no doubt about it.
And they'll have a chance to do that later this week. We'll talk about that coming up. Coming up next, Callie's Court. Stay tuned.
My dedication puts me all in.
Commitment puts me all in.
Hard work puts me all in.
Doing just a little bit more. That's what puts me all in.
We're all in. Are you all in?
Are you all in?
Single game tickets are on sale now at ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Get yours today.
Hey everyone, welcome to Callie's Court. Today we're here with Todd Barber, our strength and conditioning coach. So just tell us a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis.
On a day-to-day basis, well, we, as a staff, we train all of our athletes. We have 303 Olympic sport athletes. So we're in charge of all aspects of strength and conditioning for everybody. Women's track and field is in here right now. We have women's basketball, soccer, baseball, softball, tennises, both golfs, swimming and diving. And swimming and diving can be broken up into two different teams, really, with the sprinters and the distance. Men's track and field is broken up into two different teams with cross country and the sprinters, jumpers, multi-event athletes. Golf's both men and women's golf teams come in here. So, it's all staff members are real busy. Everybody has at least 3 or 4 sports. We have interns that help us with everybody. So we're in charge of programming the lifting part of it, programming the running part of it. So we're pretty busy from about 6 a.m. I think our first team comes in about 6 a.m. and the last team leaves about 6:30 at night.
On Fridays, most people are really excited. People that are work, the weekend's coming. But talk about why athletes aren't necessarily so excited on Fridays.
It blows my mind that you're not excited about Fridays. We do something called Fun Friday. And it's with all of our athletes. And during the school year, they just do it with a team, with their own team. But in the summer is the best time because they do it with all the athletes that are on campus. So I have my coaches draft a team, and Callie's team, I think, has won it 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. We do a thing called Fun Friday where it's different every Friday. It's like a gigantic obstacle course with strongman events in it, with a lot of power movements in it, with grind movements in it. We do a lot of sled work, which the kids love, prowlers. They love the sleds. A lot of battle rope stuff. It's different every Friday, and I like to make it different every Friday to keep challenging you guys. But we keep score. There's winners and losers, and losing's not good. Losing means you have to pick up the whole Fun Friday, which usually takes 5 of us on staff over an hour to set up on average. And the winners at the end of the whole summer, they usually get T-shirts or hog tags or something, and it's amazing how hard kids will fight and scratch and kill each other for a T-shirt. But these kids come in and they say they hate it. They don't hate it. They love it.
Whenever you lay in bed at night, do you think of ways to torture us, or would you say it comes naturally for you?
I don't sleep very much. I have a hard time going to sleep, and I wake up a lot at night, and stuff just pops into my head, and I will actually write stuff down or get my phone out and type it into my phone and come in the next morning and try it out to see if it makes me feel sick or see if I don't like it, and then if I don't like it, boom, we're doing it.
Well, I can say personally that sometimes in the middle of the workout we may not like Todd very much, but we know he's there to make us better. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Not in my house. Razorback fans, the 2013 men's and women's track and field season is here. The home schedule includes 4 indoor meets and 5 outdoor meets, plus the SEC and NCAA indoor championships. Join Coach Harder and Coach Bucknam as their teams continue their tradition of success. Regular season events are $5 per meet, and children 17 and under get in free. For a complete schedule of events, visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Go Hogs!
This week's question, how do you improve the team's shooting? I don't know what you can do at this point.
I wish I had a magic wand that I could just, like that, sprinkle some angel dust on them and the shots would start falling. I don't know what you do about that. These kids can make shots. I watch them practice every day. We don't do as much shooting in practice probably once the season starts as we do in the preseason, simply because we're constantly in game prep mode and doing scouting report things. But we try to do as much as we can. I think the kids get in on their own. I don't know whether it'd be a surprise to our fans, but the players that are out there taking the most shots and missing the most shots are the players that are in the gym coming in. It's not like they don't recognize they're not shooting the ball well, and they work real hard at it. But I think shooting is a psychological thing too. I think it kind of comes and goes. It goes in waves, and you get a kid out there that can step up and just start making shots and get a little bit of confidence, then the next shot's going to go in as well. And that's all it takes. It takes maybe one player, one shot from every player, and the difference between making 1 3 and 6 threes, or it takes just one player like Lindsey Harris used to do for us, get incredibly hot. I was looking at the tape from the Missouri-Auburn game, and against a team like Auburn that we lost to, we knew that we were going to have to make threes, and we couldn't buy a three-point shot. And they went up to Missouri, and Missouri made 18 threes against them, and one player made 10 threes.
11, actually.
11 threes,
Yeah.
all right, and scored like 35 or something like that. So I would take either one. I'd take one more three from 3 or 4 players. I would take 5 threes from one player because that, at this point, for us, that's the difference between winning and losing.
And well, we get a chance to correct that. Thursday night, LSU comes to town. What do we know about the Tigers' new coach this year, Nicky Caldwell?
Well, it's a good rivalry. They've always been our travel partner, our natural partner in the SEC since we joined. We played quite a few games against them. I know we hit a spell where they were so good, and I think they won 16 or 17 straight games. But since I've been here, it's turned into a pretty good rivalry. We played the last 5 games. We've won 3 of the 5. The 2 we lost last year were by a basket or 2. Obviously, we saw them 3 times last year. And so hopefully our kids are motivated. I think it's a team they want. It's a team probably pretty similar to us that right now maybe they don't feel like they can win the SEC championship, but they feel like they're a top 25 type team, an NCAA tournament type team. And so it's going to be a battle. It's one of those early season games where nobody wants to be 1 and 2. And so it's a big game for us, and it's going to be a tough game.
And hopefully fans will come out Thursday night, 7 o'clock tip. Be here as the Razorbacks take on LSU. Then on the road Sunday, go to Nashville to face Vanderbilt.
Never gets easier. We go to Vandy, and then we play Georgia at home, right after that. So just a tough team to get up for. We had some success. We beat them last year. It was personally my first time to ever beat a Vanderbilt team. And that felt pretty good. So they'll be laying for us on their home court. Hard place to play. They get good crowds, and then it's hard to coach from the baseline. I think most of our fans are aware of that. But they were a team. They were I actually think they were my preseason pick to win the SEC if I went back. And they got off to a little slow start. Lost a couple games that kind of surprised me. But now I think they're back on track, and so they're going to be a tough opponent for us.
Some folks might be a little down with the team being 0-2, but there's still a lot of basketball yet to play and plenty of time to get this thing rolling.
Well, 16 games, so you can't throw in the towel after 2 games. Last year was a good example of that. We started off 0-4, and then we got hot and we started believing in ourselves, and it turned out to be one of the best years in the history of Arkansas women's basketball program. So I like this team. I've said it before. I believe in this team. I think they got a lot of heart. They're going to find a way to get a win, and when they get a win, a much-needed win, and they get a little bit of confidence under their belt, then I think on any given night they can go out and play with anybody.
Well, hopefully that starts Thursday against LSU.
All right.
All right. Well, best of luck. Get 2 more wins this week.
All right, thanks.
For Tom Collin, I'm Blair Cartwright. We'll see you next time on Courtside.